How you doing? It's Samuel Masigo.
Grayson Halton.
And we're here at the women's gymnastics meet. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
And we're here with my dogs.
Let's do it. Let's go.
They really be sliding.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. They flip it out right.
Look what
Keep
she
work.
doing.
Woo.
Okay then. Oh, you. Oh. Yeah. Oh my God.
Sit.
Let's go.
Let's turn it on, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you. Right now. Let's do it. 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 Yes! Oh my God!
Yo.
Oh my God!
Yo.
Oh my God!
Yo. She the one, is he?
She the one.
She the one.
That's not the two.
She the one,
definitely not the two. She the one.
0. Come on.
And he's going to take it all the way back. Touchdown Sooner.
A conservative run the football. They chose to throw and the defense makes them pay.
Almost that time. Boomer. Sooner.
This fall camp's gonna define who we're gonna be, what we are and who we are. And that's the challenge. Everybody's got the same amount of time. Everybody in college football got the same amount of time. So we on the clock.
Stands on Saturday at the Cotton Bowl. There will be a lot of horns up and a lot of horns down, depending upon which end of the stadium you are for the OU Texas game at 11 a.m. On the field, there will only be horns up, apparently. The Big 12 announced this summer that if players show horns down in a taunting manner, it will be a penalty.
Big 12 announced this summer that if players show horns down in a taunting manner, it will be a penalty. The Sooners were asked about that today. A lot of horns down. A lot of horns down.
And the defense makes them pay.
A lot of horns down.
Sooner born in the heat of the blaze. Crimson and cream dreams. OU DNA in all of our ways. Just to clear up something with my Sooner Nation family, in the last video, I likened BV to BW. And a lot of y'all took that as me claiming that BW was the greatest coach in OU history. When we all know that the greatest coach to ever grace through the palace on the prairie was the man, the myth, the legend, no other than Barry Switzer. See, Barry Switzer was a winner like no other. And for me to get y'all to better understand why I say he's the greatest coach OU has ever had, I need to dial it back for a second and let y'all know. OU has 17 national championships in total. 7 claimed and 10 unclaimed. Now, why is that important? It is important because Bud Wilkinson has 3 claimed and 3 unclaimed, while Barry Switzer, on the other hand, actually has 3 claimed and 4 unclaimed. So 7 national championships in total. So when we speaking about Barry Switzer, you have to speak on Barry Switzer in the light of one of the greatest to ever do it in college football. So you can only compare him to an all-time great. Only one, Nick Saban. 7 national championships, 1 unclaimed. 8 in total. That is the only man you can compare Barry Switzer with. Barry Switzer is an elite company. Barry Switzer is the peak of OU football. And when it comes to the coaching tree, he is at the top. The man is truly one of one. But family, we got a lot to talk about though. Because when it comes to the national media, it seems that there is a true disrespect for OU football right now. We've caught so many strays in this offseason, the jealousy for the Sooners is truly starting to reveal itself. Like in this college football season record prediction that Top Tier put out, where they claimed that the Sooners were going to go 6-6 while going 2-6 in the SEC, which truly shows what these people really want for the Sooners. They want the Sooners to be a bottom feeder. And the hate for Alabama is displayed as well on this record prediction, as they have them going 7-5. They have them with the same record as Florida and Arkansas State. They have the Oklahoma Sooners losing more games than Florida, Arkansas State, Texas A&M, and tied with the University of Kentucky. But we are here for the Sooners. And when it comes to the Oklahoma Sooners, the narrative that these national media pussies, pundits, try to hide behind is that Oklahoma has a gauntlet of a schedule. But what I'm trying to understand is, how does Oklahoma have a gauntlet and Florida doesn't? Let's not forget that Oklahoma has always been a better team than 90% of the teams that they have on their schedule, including Texas, the one y'all have going 8-1. So you know what I say to this prediction? Considering Sooner Nation, we refuse to lose. Failure is never an option, but if we fail, we fight hard and never give up. And here's a message to all the Sooner Nation content creators out there. Don't allow these SEC pundits to make you back up off your record prediction. If you believe we going 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, stand on that. Don't let them punk you into saying, hey, look, we can lose this amount of games or that amount of games. At that same time, we can win this amount of games and that amount of games. So don't allow them to dictate how you feel about the situation and push you off your record prediction. Stand on that.
What you have to say about SEC, man?
We see it, man. We SEC bound. We coming. Hey, they think we sweet. They don't know, bro. We finna wake them up. They don't know. We coming. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Our younger brothers, gracing the field in crimson and cream, are fired up. They've been seeing everything that's been put out there. So the SEC better be ready. And like BV said, his 2024 recruiting class, the 24-karat gold class, is his best yet. And I most certainly agree.
Michael Hawkins Jr. here, day after signing day, getting the work in, ready to get it rolling.
What's up, Sooner Nation? My name is Xavier Robinson from Carl Albert High School. Play running back. Glad to be out here, getting that work in, and happy to be a Sooner.
What's up, Nigel Smith, J.D. Jackson, White Gilmore. We play defensive end, excited to join Sooner Nation. Yes, sir. Ready to get to work.
Side of the field. In this situation, I want to be shoe to shoe. I would go ahead and square up, and I would end.
Hey, Jaden Hardy from Louisville, Texas. Eli Bowen, Dayton, Texas. Early and Rowley, decided to get that work in. Excited to be a Sooner. Hey, Boomer, Sooner.
When you mix this 24-karat gold recruiting class with this team full of upperclassmen blue chippers, what you get is a recipe for success. See, those upperclassmen don't want to give an inch on their spots. And these youngins, the 24-karat gold standard recruits, are pushing the line. And speaking of the line, see the O-line, that has been the topic of discussion this entire offseason due to the fact that OU lost 5 starters to either the NFL or the transfer portal. Up-and-coming talent like Caden Green decided to step and go chase a bigger bag. Tyler Guyton got a first-round grade. Andrew Rain left a bit too early. Walter Rouse was a nice one-year rental. But BV and BB decided to go ahead and reload in this year's transfer portal. Picking up names like Branson Hickman, they picked up Fabechi Nwewu, Garion Hatchett, Michael Tarquin, Spencer Brown, while picking up machines on the D-line and in the secondary. Deion Burks may be the diamond of this transfer portal class. But don't get it twisted. These youngins, they are coming. Most certainly, they are coming. Underrated prospects like 3-star Isaiah Autry, who comes from an athletic background. His mother was a track and field star, and his cousin was former OU alum who eventually transferred out. We all know that thing ended bad. But Marcus Dupree, who the legendary Barry Switzer decided to go ahead and pick up on the recruiting trail. That boy was a dog. And if he finished out his career here, he would be a legend in the NFL. The way they discussed that young man, he was special. But let's go ahead and check out the tape from Isaiah Autry. And when you look at Isaiah Autry's tape, the first thing that stands out on film is Isaiah has beautiful feet. He moves his feet so well for a big guy. The term dancing bear is most definitely something that applies to him because he's so fluid with his feet work and movement. You can tell that he has a basketball background because that footwork doesn't really come naturally to someone so big. That's something you have to work on. In the sport of basketball, you learn very early how to bend your knees and shift your weight from side to side because it's all about being able to put your weight on one side and the other, remain quick, and stay in front of a defender. And on the offensive end, you have to be able to cut and move and roll to the basket to go ahead and catch lives, rebound, and do things like that. That would be his job on a basketball court because he's a bigger, heavier set guy. And you can see that in Isaiah Autry's playing style. He's out there on the field moving around like he's playing basketball. But there is some things that I noticed that stuck out with Isaiah. Isaiah seems to play very high, and that's very common in young players. Then he has a very long wingspan. I'm pretty sure being 6'7", 6'8", he probably has a 6'9", 6'10" wingspan, maybe longer. So he's used to putting these defensive ends at the high school level in jail. Once he gets his hands on them and gets a good grip, it's over with. They can't get around that. They don't know what to do to get around all of that length and size. So Isaiah Autry has the measurables to be something special in the collegiate level and at the next level, the NFL, if he so chooses to go there. Isaiah Autry reminds me of a prospect in the 2025 class that we were going after that eventually committed to the Missouri Tigers in Lamont Rogers. The length, the size, the movement patterns, they are all very similar. But the thing about Isaiah Autry is he's a little bit more fluent than Lamont Rogers. Lamont Rogers reminds me of a Bambi at sometimes. Seems like he just grew a little bit too fast, really not used to his size and speed. He hasn't grown into them legs fully. And that's what makes Isaiah Autry so intriguing, is the fact that he's already filled out and grown into his body, and he's able to control his body at a level that's really not common. Isaiah Autry can be as special as he wants to be as long as he locks in and, pays attention to the technique that Bill Bedenbaugh is trying to introduce to him. Isaiah will need all of that technique to be successful at the collegiate level, because Isaiah doesn't seem, at least from this film that I've examined, and of course these is highlights, we can't see everything, but from the film, it seems as though Isaiah isn't very strong up top or in his base. He's about average. He's decent, but not very strong like these tackles you would see at the collegiate level or in the NFL. So he's going to need all of that technique. Isaiah's game is more so athleticism, that footwork, the mobility. But strength is one of those things that you can always acquire. That Superman level of strength, that's God-given, but you can always get stronger. See, Isaiah, he's just going to need a little bit more to push people off the ball. If he want to be really special, he's going to have to lock into that weight room and really get strong, put on a lot of weight. But of course, you got to be careful with packing on too much weight and muscle for a player that relies on athleticism and mobility, and especially for a tackle. So you don't want him to get crazy big, nothing like 335, 340. You want him right around 315 to maybe 320 at max, so that mobility is still there. And he also has that ability to push people off the ball. But Isaiah Autry, just like Lamont Rogers, has a very, very high boom or bust potential. But if he reaches that peak, man, you're talking about somebody special. And that's how I don't know how Lamont Rogers is a top 100 overall prospect and Isaiah Autry is only a 3-star. For our next commit, the Sooners went across the pond for an overseas eval to acquire Daniel Akinkunmi, a 6'5" offensive guard or tackle who has, man, a elite amount of strength in his upper body and in his lower half. He moves very well for his size. Daniel is one of those players who has his pancake badge. He just pancakes everything. Here's an example of his mobility when they utilize him to pull, and he just takes out that D lineman and also knocks back that linebacker and really opens up that hole. He's more shaped like a guard. He's projected to play tackle for the Sooners, and I believe he has that ability because Daniel Akinkunmi, even though, whoa, hold up, I just love this play. It's so violent. Look how violent he is. Right here, he gets some reps at tackle, and look how well he moves his feet. He's just shutting that defensive end off. He had no chance. They pulled him again right here, and his mobility and violence is just on full display. Man, I just love this kid. He's only played football for 2 years. He has something that either you have or you don't, and that is the capability to lock into whatever he does. The man is a perfectionist, and you can see that in his game and how his game has taken off within the short amount of time that he's been playing or even knowing about American football. Daniel Akinkunmi has decent footwork, but I see his footwork getting a lot better, especially if he's placed in there to play tackle. I'm sure Bill Bedenbaugh will move him around because he's just one of those pieces that is like a utility piece on the O-line that can play anywhere. His strength and size will make him perfect to play on the inside because, hey, we all know that's a tighter space, and it's all about what you can get out of your base. But on the outside, playing on the end, playing tackle, he can do that as well because he has amazing footwork for a newbie. And this is where you see Big Ox athletic basketball background stand out as well. He just moves so well. I love the way that Daniel Akinkunmi moves. He moves like a tackle in a guard's body, and that IQ is just going to take him so far if he can just stay healthy. We already know that he has dealt with an injury that sidelined him throughout the spring, but there was raving reviews coming out about Akinkunmi and how he is just a student of the game, and that's something that you love to hear. See, Daniel, once he gets that experience, he is an NFL O-lineman. Whether that's a tackle or a guard, I just don't know right now. We don't have enough information to make that judgment. Well, it's not even for us to make. Of course, it's up to Bill Bedenbaugh, but just from me evaluating Daniel Akinkunmi, we don't have enough information to know whether he's a guard or a tackle. We've seen plenty of people with this guard type body make it to be excellent tackles in the college level and at the next level, the NFL. In my personal opinion, the best tackle in the NFL, Trent Williams, is more of a guard. At the collegiate level, who they consider one of the best tackles in college football, and Kelvin Banks Jr., is a guard. He's not a tackle. That's why he always gets beat. I suggest y'all go rewatch that Red River rivalry. You will see Kelvin Banks Jr. get beat time and time again. The dude is not an elite tackle. He's not a first, a second, maybe a third round tackle. I don't see first or second round tackle in Kelvin Banks Jr., but don't get me caught up in that. Hey, Gabe Eichert, he brought it up, and I had to go look at that film, and it was just egregious. Kelvin Banks Jr. is not an elite tackle. Go look at his film. Daniel Akinkunmi reminds me of a player that's already on this OU roster, and it is a player that all of the OU fan base has come to love because of his loyalty and his ability to adapt to whatever the team needs, and that is Jacob Sexton. He also reminds me of another OU former guard slash tackle that, of course, was a freshman All-American and left to go to Mizzou, and that man Caden Green. And funny thing is, man, Caden Green and Jacob Sexton always kind of favored each other to me, man. Look at these two dudes' faces, man. Tell me they don't look alike. I can't be the only one who thought that these two men look alike. You would have probably seen Daniel Akinkunmi be a high 4-star talent just due solely to that athleticism and his IQ. Of course, he has good measurables, but overall, it's just that athleticism. That raw athleticism, once again, is something you can't teach, and it's something that doesn't come around every day. So These two tackles for the University of Oklahoma look to be something special. Now let's get into the Guardians of the Galaxy, or should I say, the Guardians of Switzerland, because this next one we looking at comes by way of the Sooner State, Edmond, Oklahoma, 3-star Josh Aisosa. And Josh Aisosa, in my personal opinion, is probably the lower tier of all of the rest of these O-linemen that was recruited in the 2024 class. Because when you look at Josh Aisosa's tape, it kind of seems as though Josh Aisosa isn't one of those premier high-quality athletes like his fellow commits in the 24-karat gold recruiting class. Now, don't get it twisted. I am not saying Josh Aisosa is not athletic, because he most definitely is. He just still moves to me on film like he has a lot of baby weight that he's holding on to, a lot of bad weight that he's holding on to that he needs to shed and turn into muscle. Seems like it's slowing down his mobility. But Josh Aisosa, as far as what I've seen, doesn't really seem to have that elite level of footwork that you'll see from his peers in this class as well. Josh Aisosa is also needing a lot of work on his technique. Now, I'm not saying it's terrible. It's not terrible. He came from Edmond Santa Fe. That is one of the better schools in the Sooner State for producing offensive linemen. So it's not terrible. He just needs a lot of work. You feel me? I believe Josh Aisosa is more so a project player, because right now, at this point in time, on film, Josh Aisosa seems to rely on his brute strength. You can tell he's very strong, and that's what's been getting him by throughout high school. But when it comes to the collegiate level, it's all about details, details, details. The small things at this next level is what makes you great. It's what makes you a starter. It's what gets you snaps. You have to work on those details. And I believe that if Josh Aisosa, which he's projected to play center, if he can work on his technique, he will be a good player, a serviceable player. His ceiling to me is not as high as, his peers within this recruiting class, but just off of that brute strength alone, he could be a very quality SEC center if, he gets the right fine tuning. And he's probably one of those project players that will not play until about his junior season, maybe even senior season. He'll be a redshirt senior and probably will have, a couple of years of eligibility by the time he's a senior, because like I said, he needs a lot of work. Not to bash on Josh Aisosa. It's just, it's all about the coaching and where you come from. And it just seems like Josh Aisosa maybe didn't have one of those private O-lineman coaches that his peers most likely had. But in this college strength and conditioning with a O-lineman guru like Bill Bedenbaugh, who is the best in the game. I know a lot of people like to say Sharon Moore. Michigan has the same amount in the NFL. Sharon Moore is a product of Oklahoma. Don't you ever forget that. But here, with the blank canvas that Josh Aisosa already has, I see Bill Bedenbaugh painting a masterpiece by utilizing that strength, adding some footwork, adding some technique, and you can see Josh Aisosa be a monster. That 3-star ranking could be completely off. But right now, I do agree with the recruiting sites that Josh Aisosa is a low 3-star. Now, family, this is where we get into the superstars. Y'all already know it's time to roll out that crimson carpet, family. These two highly regarded, high-profile prospects are can't-miss prospects and will be superstars, especially with a coach like Bill Bedenbaugh. We all know what he does with O-linemen. But the first one we are going to highlight comes by way of Las Vegas, Nevada. He transferred to Sierra Canyon and is 6'3", 334 pounds, and is the number 3 inside Autry lineman, according to 247 Sports. This 4-star prospect is the number 7 player in California and the 73rd overall player in the nation. Eugene B.J. Brooks, if you followed his recruitment for some time, early in his recruitment, around 8th, 9th grade, Eugene Brooks was viewed as a 5-star prospect. He was viewed as the top O-lineman coming out of the 2024 class. And of course, as his recruitment went on, his recruiting rankings dropped simply due to the fact that he was no longer attending any of these camps. And Eugene Brooks also had a lot of baby fat at the time. He had a lot of bad weight. I believe it was upwards of around 360 pounds. And the man just wasn't moving as well as he could. Now, B.J. Brooks was always a wall. You are not going to get through B.J. Brooks. B.J. Brooks, I advise y'all go look at his old clips on YouTube. He went to a lot of camps and just destroyed kids. The man is a young monster. This young man doesn't even have his grown man strength yet, and you cannot get through B.J. Brooks. He's going to lock you down. Now, B.J. Brooks, his rankings rose whenever he went through his senior year and attended a couple of camps and was locking down 5-star defensive linemen like they were nothing. He did not lose not one rep. That right there should have let y'all know that B.J. Brooks was actually a 5-star interior O-lineman and looked a lot better than, of course, you know, the 5-star in that class and Jordan Seaton at that same camp. Jordan Seaton lost a few reps from what I seen, but B.J. Brooks did not lose one. Now let's go ahead and check out B.J. Brooks' film, because his film, it just says it all. I don't see how you could have ever looked at him and said that he was a 3-star prospect, because on the film, he displays a high level of mobility and athleticism for a player of his size and stature. The man was walking around at almost 360 pounds at like 17 years old. He is one of the more impressive O-linemen that Bill Bedenbaugh has ever recruited. Him and this next player that we're going to get into. But when it comes to Eugene Brooks, Sierra Cannon utilized him as that all-purpose O-lineman. He literally touched every spot on the O-line, but he majority played tackle. A few things that pop off the page when looking at B.J. Brooks is his strength and the fact that he plays with such intensity. He plays with an anger. He plays with this ferociousness that's just a mindset, something you love from your O-lineman. I want y'all to really zone in on this here clip, because this is truly indicative of the way that Sierra Cannon loved to utilize B.J. Brooks. A lot of pre-snap motion where they're moving him back and forth to confuse the defense to get that backer or defensive end on an island. That way he can go ahead and just take him out. Once again, this is another player with his pancake badge. You'll see B.J. Brooks throughout his film put a lot of defensive players, well, in this case, they're defenseless against him, on their backs, forcing these young men to assume the position of I'm a dying cockroach. They look like they out there doing I'm a dying cockroach. Y'all ever played that game with y'all friend when y'all was younger? Your friend lost a bet, so you made him do 50 I'm a dying cockroaches rolling around on his back. Well, that's what B.J. Brooks is out here making these defenders look like. When it comes to defenders trying to utilize the bull rush, it does not work against him. He is stout. He is strong. His base is built to withstand a lot of force. Whatever chaos you throw at B.J. Brooks, his base is built to withstand that. Then you add on the fact that his upper half, his upper body, is the equivalent of his lower body in strength. It matches beautifully. So when he grabs you, his grappling skill is like a wrestler, so you're not getting away from him. He grabs you like a wrestler, like he has a wrestling background. The man is special. This is what it's supposed to look like. A 5-star talent is supposed to look dominant at every level. This young man looks dominant. On film, he's just dominant. And you cannot deny the athleticism because of the way that Sierra Cannon liked to utilize a lot of pre-snap motion with him and just keep him in constant movement. Most O-linemen can't endure that because of all that weight. They get tired very quickly. But you see BJ Brooks just ready for the next snap time and time again. And I think that was on full display in those practices that are really like junior camps for that All-American game. I believe it was the Under Armour All-American game, but don't quote me on that. Like I said, it's just a junior camp, those practices, because you have these analysts out there evaluating everything and trying to tighten up those screws and things that they got wrong throughout the course of the year and re-rank these young prospects. But I don't understand how you could look at that and not see that BJ Brooks was a 5-star talent, and he was the best O-lineman at that Under Armour All-American game by a mile. It was not even close. Let's just be honest. But like I said, BJ Brooks is a high-level athlete, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his athleticism, being 340 pounds and having all of that mobility, moving around non-stop on that O-line and still being ready to work, still coming out for the next snap and being ready to go. That takes a high-level athlete, not to mention his mentality, man. He has the mindset of an underdog, so that makes him a real dog, even though that skill set says 5-star. So I believe BJ Brooks was underranked. He is a 5-star talent, without a doubt. Here is the crown jewel of the 2024 O-line recruitment class. Bill Bedenbaugh did his big one with this one. Eddie Pierre-Louis.
Heart broke so deep it broke into a melody that day.
So once again, thank Lewis Carter, the will linebacker who was just named to the 2 deep as a and could be a starter against Temple. We should all know by this time that this is a high-level athlete. Everybody's seen the videos of him running track and field, but didn't understand that that video they seen was a process. And even though he came in last place in his first race, hey, he understood that this is a process, and the process isn't always linear. But as long as you work, long as you put that effort in and grind, get that money, you will eventually get to where you need to be. So over time, Eddie Pierre-Louis got better and better and better. Why? Because he understood the assignment. But Eddie still wasn't where he wanted to be with it. So Eddie continued to work and work and work.
I told you that. I told you.
Another one. Lock out, lock out, lock out.
Up until Eddie got better. And there's the video that went viral that everybody's seen. Eddie Pierre-Louis, EPL for short, displays that aspect at every point of his life, especially in football. At one point, he was the 21st ranked player in the nation according to Rivals. This Tampa, Florida native went to Tampa Catholic High School along with Lewis Carter. He is 6'4", 300 plus pounds, closer to that 320 range now. The man has prototypical guard length and size. He was re-ranked to the number 34th player in the nation. Rivals had it right the first time. This man is most definitely a 5-star because all on film, all you see is violence. Nothing but violence. And I know he put out this skit where he said, "Stop the violence."
Stop! Stop!
He literally picked that young man up like he was a baby. Look at this.
No!
Stop the violence.
Hey, Eddie. Hey, Eddie.
What's up, boy?
Eddie. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. What you doing, Jit? What you doing? Hello, everyone. When I was 2 years old, my best friend got hit in the head, and he was pistol whipped. And I'm here to tell you today to stop the violence.
Back in middle school, I was harassed by multiple guys. Hold the beef because I don't like the violence. Stop bullying. Stop bullying.
Stop bullying. And I know that's what he said, but let's look at this film. Because on film, all Eddie Pierre-Louis does is bully. The man is all about the violence on a coup. That man's violence is a spectacle to watch. I love to watch Eddie Pierre-Louis' film because there's just one word that describes his entire film, and that is violence. This dude is exciting. The way that Tampa Catholic utilized him, they love to get Eddie Pierre-Louis in space. They love to see him down block, and when he's down blocking, he can down block with the best of them. The man is a freight train on legs, and if you are in his way, I promise you, you're gonna have a bad day. Somebody gonna get carted to the hospital. I expect at least one time throughout Eddie Pierre-Louis' college career, he's going to put a kid in the hospital. One of those linebackers are gonna get in his way, and he's gonna get them carted off the field. I love the way that Tampa Catholic like to hide Eddie Pierre-Louis and then get him out in motion and make him chip the 5 or the 4 and get whoever's behind him, attack whoever's behind him, whether that be a backer or when they're running downhill. If it just so happens to be a DB, safety or whatever, he just wipes them out. He cleans their clock. You have no chance against a player like Eddie Pierre-Louis. And I was watching somebody's breakdown on Eddie Pierre-Louis. I believe it was somebody out of the Canes. It doesn't really matter who it was. Overall, what they were stating was Eddie Pierre-Louis, and this is before he committed, looks like he's dominant against these high school DTs and backers, but what will he do at the collegiate level? They don't believe that dominance will come out because Eddie Pierre-Louis doesn't look fundamentally sound. And my thing is, I just don't understand what exactly they were watching. Because when you watch this film, Eddie Pierre-Louis has amazing technique. The dude is highly advanced for his age. The way that he utilizes his hands, his footwork, the speed, power, ferocity that he plays with, you can tell that he has had some outside coaching from somebody who really knows the game. And I believe Eddie Pierre-Louis has a sibling that is in the NFL, and that may be where he gets a lot of the technique from, because he is so advanced that no one on high school level could even match him. And I don't believe that he will really have a challenge on the collegiate level, especially being under a coach, once again, like Bill Bedenbaugh. When you give him a canvas like Eddie Pierre-Louis, someone who has a very high work ethic, someone who has the mindset of being a dog, you know, him and Eugene Brooks, they have that underdog mentality. So that's going to take them far in itself. But when you mix that in with Bill Bedenbaugh, that's his type of prospect. That is a first round prospect. See, y'all think Bill Bedenbaugh is a bad recruiter and he can't get these 5-star, high 4-star prospects every recruiting cycle, and he's always going for these 3 stars. But what y'all don't understand is Bill Bedenbaugh is looking for a specific type of O-lineman, a specific skill set, size, stature, and a mindset. Bill Bedenbaugh is very specific in what he's looking for. These recruiting sites, they do not know who is a 5-star and who is not. They admit that the ones that's the hardest to evaluate are O-linemen, so they don't really know them. And the way that they give the benefit of the doubt to, you know, schools like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, that is what they should do with Oklahoma when it comes to the O-linemen. Oklahoma and Michigan, because we produce the most quality O-linemen. It's just what it is, man. So if Coach Bill Bedenbaugh is going after a O-line talent, he's putting all his resources behind him. That should tell these recruiting sites that's a 5-star. Give him his 5th star. That's a 5-star. And that is what Eddie Pierre-Louis is. Eddie Pierre-Louis is big, dominant. He's a force on his own. And any team that he goes to, he's going to be highly successful. But to go under Bill Bedenbaugh, that is just going to make him a highly successful professional at the next level. Let's just be honest. And I believe that, you know, for Eddie Pierre-Louis' skill set, he probably would have been best to go to like a run-heavy team like Kansas or UCF. But hey, man, we'll see what we do with our new offensive coordinator, Seth Luttrell, because as we all know, he was an H-back, so he's going to run the ball a lot. And I believe that Eddie Pierre-Louis is best when it comes to run blocking. Hopefully he can develop in the pass blocking scheme, but overall, when it comes to run blocking, Eddie Pierre-Louis' talent just flashes off the screen. I love this kid. He is highly talented, and I believe that he is the best O-lineman that OU has gotten in quite some time. Let's just be honest. This 24-karat gold class is special. And I know that me making a claim that EPL is the best the Sooners has picked up so far, after we just picked up 5-star offensive tackle / guard Michael Fasusi, and also have Ryan Foljay in the 2025 cycle. I don't like to really speak on prospects until they actually sign their letter of intent, because as we all know, there are late flips. Even though BV has that rule, once you commit, you are committed. Kids gonna do what they want to. They are kids. They can be persuaded, you know, to change their minds at any given time. So I don't like to really speak on those recruits until they sign. You feel me? And I know we still looking at Andrew Babaloa. Love that prospect. but he hasn't committed to us, and the other 2 are still not signed. We'll speak about them when they sign. But family, Sooner Nation, I want y'all to go follow me on Twitter at SCC_Boomer. Trying to be a part of the Twitter family, lock in with y'all, and be a part of everything that's going on over there. And also, let's go ahead and get this channel to 1,000 subs. Let's go ahead and get everything going. If you are viewing, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. Help us get into the groove of things, because I want to do this a lot more regular. I just got a lot of things on my hands, going on. And at the end of the day, bills don't stop getting paid. So I got to focus on those more. And then I try to do this in my free time. But if we get this thing monetized, get it to 1,000, I will come on here a lot more frequent. And, we'll really lock in every day and drop a video every day. I'll give y'all something every day as soon as we get this to 1,000 subs. So y'all go ahead and do that for me. Attack that like button, attack that subscribe button, comment down in the comment section. I am responding to everybody. I've been trying to finish all of those responses back to everybody. I appreciate all the love that y'all been giving me, family. I'm excited to finally get out and open my mouth to our nation, because I've been a lifelong Sooner fan. I'm 29 years old. I've never known anything else but Sooner Nation. I'm a college football fan, but Sooner Nation has always been my nation from the beginning. I am a legacy of Sooner Nation. My granddad went to OU, and we it's just a legacy, man. It's just one of those things, man, where it's in my blood. It's Sooner blood, Sooner DNA all the way through and through. So I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'm just excited to, be embraced by the community the way that y'all have, man. I just had to let y'all know that. So yeah, with that being said, I will be back with another one. It is game night. I've been having this video in the works. I just didn't have it finished yet. But what better day to finish it than on game day, our first ever Friday that we will be playing on in Sooner history. This is a very historic day, not only from the aspect of us joining the SEC, but the fact that we are playing on a Friday. And I just believe in this team, man. I'm just so hyped about this team, not from all the sunshine pumping, but simply from the point of view of me doing my own evals on each player on the roster. And I just feel like this is a very good roster. This roster matches up with any roster in the nation. And the best thing about it is that it's a sneaky good roster. The rest of the nation don't even realize how great of a roster it is. Let me not even say good. This is a great roster. I know everybody has concerns with the O-line, and that's the reason why I did this video, to show y'all the young O-line. You have 2 young true freshmen who could be starters already, who would probably be starters on most other teams. But when you have an O-line coach like Bill Bedenbaugh, you got to work your way up to that. And I think these 2 young prospects in BJ Brooks and EPL will work their way into that starting lineup. But when you look at the experience on the O-line, that's something that can't be taken for granted. These aren't just a bunch of young true freshmen and sophomores who are trying to gel together. These are all seniors, juniors, and seniors who've been there and done that, who have been through, changes in the O-line time and time again and had to re-gel with a new O-line. Because here's a news flash to all the media pundits, fans, and SEC fans who do not realize that this is collegiate football. You can only play with eligibility for 4 years. So there's a lot of new that comes to every program. A lot of programs are breaking in a new O-line, and eventually everybody will have to do it. Everybody has something new coming in. With these upperclassmen having this experience, man, it's just gonna help that gel happen a lot easier. That's what I see. They are all very good prospects who were top 1 to 3 on their team. Like, we're talking about getting O-linemen from each team that were either the best O-lineman on their team or, was the second or third. So these aren't no scrubs that we pulled in, you feel me? And I'm just excited about the defense. Every component of the defense, man, looks great. I'm excited about the receiver room. I'm excited about the running back room. I'm excited about Jackson Arnold and that entire quarterback room. Every component of this entire team appears to be great. It's deep. It's depth like we haven't had in 20 plus years, man. I'm excited for what is to come. And the thing about the O-line is, if you do not play well, Bill Bedenbaugh has somebody who will replace you. He is the best O-line coach in the nation, without a doubt. Jackson Arnold, I believe he's ready. The throws he made in the Alamo Bowl, that man looked like he's special, like he's ready to go. So I'm excited about this team. The SEC better be ready. I believe that BV is an elite coach, and this year he will show that to the entire world. Y'all know I will be back with another one. Make sure you don't leave the video without subscribing, and go follow me on Xbird, Twitter, whatever you call it, SEC_boom.